Welcome students. In the next module, that is a linear algebra, the chapter is vector spaces. In the previous semester, we have come across with the same module, that is linear algebra, where we studied the advanced theory in the matrices, that is eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So in this module, we are going to study the vector spaces. So before we start with the vector spaces, we like to revise few things which you have already learned in the previous semesters, and also some uh, is concept from 11th 12th standard, and we want to revise them in the view of a vector space. Okay, so let's begin that. So the first point is, what is mean by a vector, or say what is a vector? It is basically a quantity which has magnitude, and directions. Okay, so we can say the force applied on the some body, which is a vector quantity. It has a direction as well as the magnitude also. Similarly, the current flowing through the circuit, it's an electric force, is it? So which has a direction as well as the current has some magnitude, is it? Of course, when we study the vector quantity, the same time we can have the discussion about a scalar quantity. So scalar quantity, it has only magnitude and no direction, is it? So height of a person, then temperature, room temperature, all these quantities are scalar. No, we in previous we have seen that a vector v can be represented as v1 I cap plus v2 j cap plus v3 k cap. So it's a three-dimensional vector. I, j, k, I cap, j cap, k cap are the unit vectors along the x-axis, y-axis, and the z-axis. And z-axis, these are the unit vectors. That means their modulus is 1. So if this is a vector, then it can be also represented in a point form, v1 comma v2 comma v3. As we are going to deal with the vector spaces, so dimension is not restricted to the 3 dimension. We can have any dimensional vector space or any dimensional vector we can take. So hence from here, in most of the cases, we would like to use the notation of a vector in this way. Instead of the v1 I cap plus v2 j cap plus v3 k cap, we would like to represent it in a point form. Is it? So suppose I have a vector, say v1 is equal to x I cap plus y j cap. So we can say this is a two-dimensional vector. Hence we can represent it as a x comma y. So on the plane of x-axis and the y-axis, one can plot the point x comma y some like this, somewhat like this, which has a distance from y-axis is x. This is also x distance, and the distance from the x-axis is y. So we can represent x comma y as a vector like this, whose terminal is at origin and the end point, or it is pointing towards the point x comma y. Similarly, one can plot the point, one can plot the vector v2 given as x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap, which can be drawn like this. So there is an z axis, there is a y axis, and a x axis, like that. X axis, this is y, and the z axis. So we'll have this way, which is an vector in the space whose height is whose height is z from the xy plane. Then its uh, distance from the yz plane is nothing but x coordinate. Its distance from the xz plane is nothing but y coordinate. So this is my vector x comma y comma z. Is it? So this geometrical representation we have already studied in earlier. I have just taken a revision. But there we try to represent a vector using the x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap and so on. But here we are representing the vector in a point form. So it means, suppose if I consider a vector of from the vector space having the 4 dimensions. Suppose there is a vector space. Yes, we have not discussed anything about what is vector space and all. So we have a vector space, say R4, which is nothing but R cross R cross R cross R. It's a real vector space of 4 dimensions. Then any vector from this can be represented as x comma y comma z comma u, or you can take simple the notations in your favor, x1 comma y1 comma or sorry x1 comma x2 comma x3 comma x4. So this is in vector in fourth dimension space. Similarly, one can define a vector from the n dimensions by defining the n tuples of the particular number. Fine. Now, the vectors are denoted in various ways. The one we have studied in the three-dimensional space, the vector can be represented as x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap, or it can be represented as a point form, that is x comma y comma z. So hence, in two-dimensional space, initially I'll speak with the two-dimensional space. So two-dimensional space, we can denote a vector by the coordinates x comma y. In two-dimensional space, we can denote a vector v is equal to x I cap plus y j cap as a point form x comma y, or it can be denoted, or it can be written in the matrix notation, that is a row matrix, a row x comma y, or it can be represented as a column vector or say column matrix. So these are the different ways of representing a same vector. Is it? So we may also denote it by a single letter v, or we can denote it either x I cap plus y j cap, or we can represent it as a point form, or we can represent as a row matrix or a column matrix. Is it? And these are the representations of a line segment joining the origin to the point P. These all are representation of this particular vector, which is joining the origin and the P. So we can say these are the different representation for my vector OP bar. Similarly, in three space, that is in three-dimensional space, we can represent a vector. I'll take the same notation V as x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap, which is nothing but a point form x comma y comma z. or we can represent it as a row vector, a row x comma y comma z, or we can represent it as a column vector. Again same, these are all representation of a vector in the space like this, which is joining the point O, that is origin, and the P x comma y comma z. Clear? So in same way, we can represent an n-dimensional vector either using the xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap and so on up to n terms, or we can represent it as a point form, that is x1 comma y x1 comma x2 comma and so on up to xn, or we can represent it as a row matrix x1 x2 and so on up to xn, or we can represent it as a column matrix x1 x2 and so on xn. Is it? So this is just for your understanding. The vectors are denoted by the usually lower letters, lowercase bold faces letter like U, V, W, etc. But this notation is not suitable while writing with the hands. So we cannot write it as in bold letters. So hence, most of the authors they follow to express the vector as U bar, V bar, and so on. This way. In some of the books you may find the plain letters also U, V like them. Where I see the what I used here, I'm using the plain letters V. Is it? So the starting point of a vector is usually a initial point, and the end point of a vector is called the terminal point. If the initial point of a vector, as in the above vectors, is the origin, then the coordinates of the terminal point of vector is called components of the vector. So that's very important. You have already studied this, so I'm not going into depth of it. Just I'm trying to revise them. Next is we studied the algebra of the vectors. That is the addition of two vectors. Algebra of the vectors. So algebra of the vectors, in which we have the addition or subtraction, even the multiplication by scalar, the scalar dot product, scalar product or say dot product, and the cross product. So these are the vector arithmetics, or we can say the algebra of the vectors. And this vector addition follows the following rules. Even the scalar multiplication also follows these rules. Mainly, I'm just going to list out the rules here. The first rule is if I'm taking the addition of two vectors, u plus v, which is same as v plus u. That means the vectors are commutative. The another one is the vector addition is associative. Suppose I have three vectors and I have added them like u plus v plus w, then it can be written as u plus v plus w. One more property about the addition is if I add u with a zero vector or say zero vector plus u, then my answer is say that is u. The next is the next property. If I take the u plus minus u or minus u plus u, in both cases my answer is a zero vector. So usually the zero vector can also be represented as either 0 or 0 then suffix v for zero vector. Again, it differs from author to author. Another property that we know, suppose k be a scalar, then k into u plus v is equal to ku plus kv. One more property we have studied, that is there is an addition of two scalars k plus l and we multiply by some vector u, then we have k into vector plus l into same vector. That means the in the property E, we are saying that scalar multiplication is distributive over addition. And here we distributed u over the scalar additions. Got it? Next. The next property is some scalar k into some scalar u, sorry, L into vector u, KL into u. So which provides me KL multiplied with a u. And the final, that is last property, that is 1 into u is u itself. So here, if we just look at the 0 and the 1, we can say the 0 plus u or 0 plus u, 0 plus u plus or u plus u 0. In both way, my answer is u. So 0 is act as an identity element. So we are adding an identity element in the vector, we get the vector back. Similarly, see the last property, 1 into u is equal to u. So 1 is a multiplicative identity. As I'm multiplying 1 by any vector quantity, I'll get the vector back. Is it? So these are the properties which can be satisfied, which are satisfied by the vectors. Is it? So since a vector can be represented by ordered scalars or by line segments, we have to approach just to the prove the above results. One is analytical and the another one is a geometrical way. So it ups to you only. Fine. I'll just quickly go with the some of these properties. So the first one is, which I want to prove, u plus v is equal to v plus u. See, I'm taking the vector u1, u2, u3. That is my u vector. Another vector v I'm taking as v1, v2, v3. Let's take u plus v. The u plus v is a u1 plus u2 plus u3. Sorry, not plus. It's a u1 comma u2 comma u3 plus v1 comma v2 comma v3. So whenever we take an addition of the order tuples, we go with the tuple wise or say entry wise. So first I'm having u1 plus v1 comma u2 plus v2 comma u3 plus v3. Is it? So addition of two numbers can also be represented as u1 plus u1 can be written as v1 plus u1. The next can be written as v2 plus u2 plus next can be written as v3 plus u3. So it can be separated like v1 plus v2 plus v3 plus, sorry, v1 plus, not v1 plus v2 plus, it's a u v1 comma v2 comma v3 plus u1 comma u2 comma u3, which is nothing but v plus u. It's an obvious proof. Is it? So one can show it in geometrically also. So in that case, if we have the vectors like them, so there is a vector u, there is another vector v, then the vector u plus v is nothing but, by the parallelogram law, u, this is my v, and this is again v. Yeah. If this is u, this is also u. This is v, this is also in v. And the diagonal will be u plus v. Clear? So if I say this O, A, B, and C, the addition of OA bar with the OB bar is nothing but OC bar. Okay. Similarly, we can write this as the OC bar would be OA plus AC bar. Both way it is correct. That is U plus V. Or the same can be have like this, OB bar plus BC bar. That is V plus U. So hence we have the U plus V is equal to U plus V is equal to V plus U. Okay. Now, if I want the rest of the properties, you can do it on your own. They are very simple for algebraic proofs. You can go with them. The next is a equality of two vectors. When you will say the two vectors U, that is U1, U2 and so on up to UN, and the vector V equals to V1, V2 and so on Vn are equal. When you say these two vectors are equal, if U is equal to V, so this implies U1 is equal to V1, U2 is same as V2, U3 is same as V3 and so on. Un should be same as Vn. Then only we say that the vectors are equal. If either of them is not equal, then the two vectors will not be same. Now the zero vector. Next point which is to be discussed, zero vector. Usually denoted by zero suffix v, which gives me all its tuples are zeros. Fine. Okay. The next is very important, called as a norm of a vector. If I have suppose I have the vector u given as a u1 comma u2, then norm of u is equal to square root of u1 square plus u2 square. That is, it gives me the length of vector u or the magnitude of the vector u from the origin. See this. Here is a vector u1 comma u2. Now here it is from the origin. Now this is my vector u. What is its norm? That means what is its length or say magnitude? Magnitude of vector is equal to length of vector from origin is same as norm of a vector. Got it? So now what is this? It gives me the this distance is u1, this distance is u2. If I want the length of u, this length, that is OP, if I require the length OP is required, then by Pythagoras formula, length OP is a square root of, okay, I call this as OA, length of OA square plus length of AP square. So length of OA square will be u1 square plus u2 square. Is it? So hence the norm is given by norm of vectors is given by square root of u1 square plus u2 square. Suppose it is of three-dimensional vector, say u is equal to x comma y comma z, then the norm is given in the same way. That is u1 square plus u2 square plus u3 square. That means we are measuring the length from the origin in a real space. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Now suppose my vector space is of n dimensional. Say u1, u2, u3 and so on un with a vector from the Rn, that is a real space of n dimensions. The x-axis, y-axis, z-axis and so on, so on, so on. All the axes are reals. Then norm of such a vector u will be in the same line u1 square plus u2 square plus and so on plus un square. Okay. Now here, while discussing these basic properties, we are mainly focusing on real spaces. That is a real number space, or say the space of R2, space of R3. R2 means, what is the space R2? See the x-axis and the y-axis. If at your x-axis as well as at a y-axis, if we consider the real line, so it becomes an R2 space, two-dimensional real space. If your x-axis, y-axis and the z-axis are real numbers, then it becomes a R3, that is three-dimensional space, and so on. Like that, you can define any n-dimensional real space. Yeah, of course, after R3, we are not able to represent it. So hence, we are going to define an inner product over real spaces. That is, it's a Euclidean inner product called as a dot product. So what is a dot product of two vectors? We have the vectors u and v in 2 and 3 spaces. Theta be the angle between them. Theta be angle between them. Then u dot v is equal to norm u into norm v into cos theta. Fine. Hence, suppose we have the vector u component wise given as u1 comma u2 comma u3. The vector v is given by v1 comma v2 comma v3. Then u dot v will be norm u into norm v. So what do you say about norm u into norm v? It's a square root of u1 square plus u2 square plus u3 square and so on, like that. Is it? But if I want the actual calculation formula for the dot product, every time it is not necessarily you know the angle between the two vectors, that is theta. So in that case, u dot v will be given as u1 v1 plus u2 v2 plus u3 v3. It provides me the expected dot product. Similarly, you can restrict this dot product to the two-dimensional vector space, that is u1 u2 v1 v2. So the dot product will be u1 v1 plus u2 v2. Is it? Now from this one can define the angle between two vectors. So hence we have the cos theta is equal to u dot v divided by norm u into norm v. Fine. Yeah. Now one more point I like to mention, that is Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, and then we will stop with this all discussion which we have done in this lecture, because the points which I covered are just from your previous years. I have not discussed any new concept in this. Only the names would be different or their representation would be different. Fine. So if we have the two vectors, if u is equal to u1, u2 and so on un, that is an n dimensional vector. V is equal to V1, V2, and so on, Vn be the two vectors given to us. So we say that are any two vectors in Rn, that is n-dimensional real space. Then Cauchy's quartz inequality in Rn. In Rn is mod of u dot v is less than or equal to norm u into norm v. So this is our Cauchy's quartz inequality. In examination, they may ask you a problem, state the Cauchy's quartz inequality and prove it, or simply they may ask you the question, the two vectors will be provided and verify the Cauchy's quartz inequality. See, the proof is very simple. The inequality can be proved easily for the R2 or R3, that is two-dimensional or say three-dimensional vectors. We know that u and v are any two vectors in R2 and R3. Right now we are dealing with the two-dimensional or say three-dimensional space. Hence, I'm restricting this. So mod of u dot v will be norm u into norm v into modulus of cos theta. That is your modulus of u dot v. But the mod of cos theta would be less than or equals to 1. Is it? So therefore, mod of u dot v is less than or equal to norm u into norm v. So this is a very interesting proof in a simple 2-3 lines. You can do the some problems based on the Cauchy's quartz inequality for the verification. We will have the discussion immediately. Okay, write down the question from the university exam. Verify Cauchy's quartz inequality for the vectors given below. The vectors are verify Cauchy's quartz inequality for vectors. The first vector is u 2 comma 3 comma 1 and the another vector 3 comma 0 comma 4, and also find angle between them. Okay, so for what is the statement of Cauchy's quartz inequality, that we need to first write. Cauchy's quartz inequality states that if u and v are the vectors, then modulus of u dot v is less than or equal to norm u into norm v. Okay, so first of all we need to calculate the norm u. So norm u will be square root of u1 square, that is 2 square plus 3 square plus 1 square. So this is my u vector. I need to take their sum of squares of the components. So 2 square, that is 4, 3 square, that is 9 plus 1. So which gives me 9 plus 1 10, 10 plus 1 14. So the answer is root 14. Now the norm of v will be square root of 0 square plus 0 3 square plus 0 square plus 4 square. So 3 square plus 0 square plus 4 square. 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16. So we have square root of 25, which is 5. Hence, norm u into norm v, that is the right hand side, is equal to 5 into root 14. Now LHS. What is the LHS? Modulus of u dot v. So what is the u dot v? As u is u1 u2 u3, v is v1 v2 v3, then we have u1 v1 plus u2 v2 plus u3 v3. That is our dot. So let's substitute u1 u2 u3 v1 v2 v3. So this is u vector. So of course this is u1 u2 u3. This is v vector, so we have v1 v2 and v3. Hence it gives me the u1 into v1, that is 2 into 3, 6, plus u2 into v2, that is 3 into 0, 0, plus 1 into 4, 4. So hence it is modulus of 10, and the modulus of 10 is 10 itself. So of course 10 is less than 5 root 40. Hence this implies norm u into norm v is less than or equal to modulus of u dot v. Sorry, I just did a mistake there while stating the statement again. Yeah, this is my LHS. So this gives me modulus of u dot v is less than norm u into norm v. That's correct. Sometimes it is less than or equals to. Fine. Now we need to calculate the angle between them also. So if see the question, verify the Cauchy squares inequality, also find the angle between them. So angle between them is cos theta. What is the formula for cos theta? Cos theta is equal to u dot v upon norm u into norm v. So we already computed the value of u dot v. What is it? It is a 10 divided by norm u, that is root 14 into 5. So here I am having 5 to the 10. So 2 by root 14. So hence theta will be therefore theta will be cos inverse of 2 upon root 40. Is it? So this is a simple question based on the Cauchy squares inequality. They may ask you to work out the values of uh, angle between the two vectors and verify the Cauchy squares. Okay. So one more problem I like to prove, based on the Cauchy squares inequality. That is, the values are not provided. You need to just apply the Cauchy squares inequality to prove something. Fine. So for real values of a and b, this is also a university question. For real values of a and b, and theta, show that a into cos theta plus b into sin theta square is less than or equal to a square plus b square using Cauchy squares inequality. Fine. Now how we will prove this? So if you just look at that a cos theta plus b sin theta, we can say that a comma b is one vector, cos theta sin theta is another vector. So I'll take the vector u as a comma b, the vector v as cos theta comma sin theta. If you take the u dot v, we'll get the bracketed quantity which is on the left side, that is a cos theta plus b sin theta. Clear? So we'll go with that. U dot v is equal to a comma b dot product with cos theta comma sin theta, and the dot product will gives me a cos theta plus b sin theta. Now, and norm of u square. Okay, instead of square I'll just go with norm of u. What is the norm of u? By definition it is square root of a square plus b square. Therefore squaring on both sides, we have norm u square is equal to a square plus b square. Clear? So then what is norm v? The norm v will be square root of a cos, sorry, not a, it's a cos theta. See, the vector v is a cos theta comma sin theta. So the norm v will be cos square theta plus sin square theta. Therefore, norm v square is cos square theta plus sin square theta. But we know cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1. So norm v square will be 1. Clear? Hence, by Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. What is the statement? Mod of u dot v is less than or equal to norm u into norm v. Fine. So therefore we get mod of a cos theta plus b sin theta. This modulus is less than norm u. Norm u is the square root of a square plus b square into norm v itself of 1. So hence squaring on both sides, as I am taking a square on the left hand side, the modulus is itself a positive quantity when I take it square, or when I take square of any quantity is also a positive. So I'll just remove the modulus sign. So we have a cos theta plus b sin theta bracket square is less than or equal to, and there is a square root of a square plus b square. As I'm taking a square, we get a square plus b square only. Fine. So this is how we prove this particular example. So you can define n different problems based on the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. If you just look at the previous year question papers, you may find a question on this topic. So you can prepare it very well. So we'll meet in the next lecture with some interesting concept from the same module, that is vector spaces. Thank you.